still the AA meeting.
Yeah, we still haven't fucking changed it.
Yeah, we haven't.
I like it too much for it to not still be kind of the unofficial name of the show a little bit. Yeah. We still have to give Brody credit for that.
It was a cool theme song.
Yeah, it was. All right, here we are, episode motherfucking 20.
The big 2-0.
2-0.
And on episode 20, you finally brought in a guest that I hadn't met before.
What's that? The first one you haven't met?
I haven't met.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't met.
Well, let's introduce Trev, Big Wheel Williams.
What's happening, people?
How you doing,
What's
brother?
good, baby?
Thanks for doing this. I appreciate you.
I'm good, man. Yeah, just tell me when to go because I'm high. So.
We're going to tell you when to stop eventually.
Yeah, what's good?
Ain't nothing to it. This is what we do. Let's roll that graphic real quick. Let's get right through that.
Tell everybody where the shows are this weekend. Go
support local shows.
Local.
Go see them real quick. We run a graphic real quick for all the shit that's coming up. Here we are.
Where's the graphic, right?
Yeah, it's in that one.
This one.
We added that shit
together. Right here.
Yeah, we try to fucking slide it together. And then from the top, actually, I don't know how any of the graphic works. I'm glad that you production people make that happen. Because I don't do shit about that part.
Hey, shout out to nerdy white kids and little Asians.
Yeah, I know, right?
Motherfuckers know all this shit.
I always want to know, too. And then you get enough of it, and then they start really getting into the depths when they think you're paying attention, and they lose me. I'm like, oh, well, you went too far.
I'm just kind of like, I had a watch with a calculator on it one time.
Well, you can give me like an inch deep of the knowledge, but once you start diving into the shit, you got to be in there for 10 years to know. Like, you're going to lose me. I ain't going to know all that shit.
Yeah, I'm cool. You do that shit, bro.
You do you.
You've over-answered this question, but I'm okay with it.
So, Will, man, lots of stuff going on. You got karaoke at Vorshay's you've been doing now.
Man, actually,
first one last night.
I just did my first one last night.
So how'd it go?
It went fairly decent. Like I didn't bomb. I didn't break the system. Like I'm like, okay, for real. I'm like, what is it? Apple product illiterate. Oh yeah. So I'm a Samsung Windows. Yeah, I'm illiterate. I am illiterate like a motherfucker, bro. And so
judges.
My buddy, they own Vorshay's, and they were just like, hey, you want to do, my buddy hit me up, and he's like, hey, bro, what's up? And I'm like, what up? And he's like, hey, you want to do karaoke on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays at Vorshay's? And I'm like, well, I could probably do one night, because I've never done.
You're smart enough to not go two.
Yeah,
let's do one. Let's see what happens.
Don't jump in the deep end right away.
Yeah, we're not about to dive in head first and then get a damn brain injury. Like, no, like. So I was just like, I do Tuesday night, see what's up. So last week I went and they're like, hey, such and such is going to train you. And so I didn't know that I was going into a shit storm.
Oh, yeah.
So
a little unorganized.
So what had happened? So what had happened was,
and all good things started with that
one. I got there and they was like, well, such and such, he gonna train you. And I'm like, all right, bet.
Great, he's gonna show me everything.
So I get there and shit or whatever, and then I had seen dude before, but I ain't really met him and shit or whatever. So I introduced myself, and he's like, oh yeah, I've seen you, I heard you sing, whoop whoop or whatever. Now,
Jeff can sing, by the way.
We got to, making small talk and shit or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I guess you're supposed to train me on how to run, the system or whatever.
Was that news to him?
Well, it wasn't news to him, but he was, as he put it, feeling some type of way. Now he is on Aaron's team, He is a gay man, and he was like that. You could tell that he was in his feelings about this shit.
Were you replacing him?
So okay.
That's what it sounded like.
So this is what happened. So we got to talking, and I'm just like, so were you wanting to do this? I was like, I have no problem with, rotating with doing it every other week, me doing once a month, you doing the rest. Yeah. I was like, I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes. I was like, it's plenty of karaoke for everybody in this motherfucker. Yeah, it's whatever. And he was just like, I did want to do it and whoop de whoop. And he's like, I just talked to, my buddy's wife, and she, just really didn't mention nothing about it. Now all of a sudden you're coming in today, and then there's another person coming in on Wednesday, and you could tell that he was very agitated.
Yeah. Well, he was the dude doing it on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Well, no, okay.
It might not have been communicated.
Okay, so
they kind of left him out there on the.
Yeah, there was some communication issues and shit. But what had happened was I guess the other two people that were doing it originally, like Enjoy Fountain, she's like moved on and she's going to do some other projects and stuff. She's at the Roxy right now.
Yeah, we're going to try her as a guest as well.
So she moved on, so she's not doing it anymore. And then the other lady that was working, she's no longer. So I guess there was three people. It was these two. Yeah, no, it was just those two and then this dude who knew how to run the whole karaoke thing. Well, I guess he wasn't offered this. But come to find out, long story short, I tried to get him to show me how to, run the shit or whatever, but he was kind of like apprehensive and just kind of like, ugh. I can't believe
the whole moment.
Yeah, so I go and I call my homie's wife, who she's the one.
I met the owner.
Yeah, she runs the operations and shit basically. And I'm talking to her and I'm just like, hey, why didn't you offer the job to him? And then she's like, well, and then so she starts giving me a list of all the things that he's done in the past, like singing over customers, being over singing over customers. No, like when they're singing their songs, he's like, doing bad.
He's
just
doing drunk bass guy.
And he was like, I guess he was getting a little too drunk and, just belligerent and being just kind of rude and, just there were some things and
some issues.
They had some customer complaints or some shit. I don't know. I wasn't trying to get into none of that.
There tends to be that kind of drama sometimes in bars.
And all I wanted to know was why they wasn't giving it to him, knowing because he knew all the ins and outs and how to run it and everything.
And he was willing to do it. He was on site. He was already building the crowd.
He knew
he honestly thought he was going to be doing it until Will showed up.
And he knew more than me.
Will's like, hey, let me. He's like, what?
And so I'm just like, he's way more qualified to do this than me. So why? And
in some areas.
Yeah, in some areas. And then so when she told me, and I was just like, oh, damn, okay, well, damn. So then I stayed for a couple hours because I knew that he wasn't
gonna show you shit.
Yeah, he wasn't really gonna try to help.
He ain't gonna show you shit.
He wasn't trying to help me do shit, honestly. So I was just like, all right, I'm out. So come to find out, like the next day, like they're just like, oh my God, are you really gonna do karaoke? Because like I guess like later that night he got like took like 6 tequila shots straight and then just went off.
Yeah.
And just and he just was like, oh well, I'm gonna just show my ass. And like I guess that's what he did, and I don't know. And that's what I'm hearing.
So long story short, that guy's not hosting.
Yeah, so he's not even welcome back there.
So that was the end of it that night?
Yeah, he put the nail in his coffin last Tuesday. Shit or whatever.
So I want to talk about this for a minute because like this is very common in the arts and entertainment industry. Okay, like I'm not going to speculate about what happened in this instance, but I will say that the communication between the venue and the artist a lot of times is lackluster.
Yeah, they should have let him know before people just showed up in his face like that.
Let him know before you replace him.
Yeah, exactly.
Say something like, "Hey, man, so I'm not going to serve you past this."
Okay, so actually, what it was they wasn't replacing him. She had wanted him to be karaoke guy number 1.
Okay.
However, she was bringing me and the other person in on Wednesdays to now be more people that knew how to run the system. So when he wasn't available, then we could come in and fill in,
or you can do like a co-host,
and it can be and it was, and she was just like, I want to do it, but I want to switch it up. I want to have more than just one person doing it all the time.
But again,
and I go to places like A&J's Music Room, and they switch it up. Where there's other hosts and shit. It's not just Justin and Dio, and there's a few other people, and so I know that's how. And so I was just like. And that's how she pitched it to me. And then I guess it didn't get communicated that way to him.
Right. Sounds like
and then but then his behavior and his actions caused him to lose all of that.
Well, we're talking about artists, okay? And artists write from emotional places. They work from emotional places. That's part of the MO. You know what I mean? So you miscommunicate to an artist. You act wrong to an artist.
Well, you put him on his heels,
and they might write a record about you. Ask Taylor Swift about that.
Yeah,
one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I mean, if you meet this guy and then you can see, because I'm a people watcher, and I've been around him before in the past, and I've just seen his mannerisms and how he conducts himself, and I could see all the shit that she was saying, like in the past or whatever. Now, I left last Tuesday, so I didn't get to see the whole. But
did you sing while you was there?
Yeah, because he showed me initially, just like a few, but he was just very reluctant. Yeah. And so I could feel it. I
want to show you his whole car.
I could feel the energy and shit or whatever, and I'm just like, shit, all right, whatever, bro. I'll just, take it and, I'll just try to wing it and shit or whatever. Which I did last night. I mean, and it, it worked. I had fun. I got people engaged and shit, like, me, I'm a people person. So I got people to sing. I got people, like, I got this dude to come out his comfort zone and do some Usher. And then he immediately got kicked out for harassing 4 women. I don't know.
So he came off his Usher song with like a big head.
Yeah. And then, and then apparently he was like, doing some weird shit. He was doing some hand gestures and some facial shit, and then
he was gone.
Yeah, and the homie was like, he's like, so dude, you just was singing. He was like, I just had to kick his ass out. And I'm just like, for what? He's like, well, he just ran 4 chicks off and shit. And I was like, what the hell? So I think that was the biggest moment of my first karaoke night.
So were you just you MC it and sing songs too at the same time? So you get a couple jams and then you because some of them over enthusiastic karaoke hosts to sing 7-8 songs.
Oh yeah.
No, man, like
you can't be that dude.
No, this ain't the Big Wheel show. Like, they get up there and it's day and stay American Idol and shit.
They have like, motherfucking list like this of people trying to fucking sing and
they got a list.
It's my song time.
They got a list of 40 damn people ready to sing. Well, right now I'm gonna do a selection for you. Like, damn, bro, did you just sing 5 people ago? Like, I don't like going to karaoke places like that for real. Like, I tried to make sure, like, I'm a rogue, so like, there's no rhyme or reason to my damn karaoke, and I noticed that last night. I was just like, new people brought shit up to me. They were going to the top of the list and shit. Like, I got a couple. I was like, you gonna be up in a few and shit, because I'm like, I'm not one to like let a motherfucker sit around and wait. Like, people, we got a 4-hour window to do this shit, and it's only so much songs and time and bullshit.
I host open mic nights all over town.
Yeah,
I host one here at Muse every Monday, and then I do Wednesday at Barleycorns, Thursday at Jerry's, about to be Thursday at Shamrock.
Moving to Shamrock.
Yep, Shamrock. It'll move to Shamrock August 11th. So, but yeah, man, hosting that stuff, that ain't no joke. Like,
it's
you do have people that come in and they're like, man, I got to work in the morning. If I can get on before 9, and I'm just like, well, let me ask the next couple people behind you, and if they don't mind running around this list, you got to run it a certain way. Yeah. You get a whole bunch of people, now everybody got 2 songs. Sorry.
Yeah, like, there's like a couple old dudes and shit, and I know there was this one, and he's James, old black dude. All he do is sing Teddy P and Otis Redding. He say all the hit. He don't need none of the damn words, nothing. And he walk with a little limp and shit. He old. He's ready. and he walked with a little limp. So, you know, it's just, you know, it's about taking care of customers and shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, some karaoke will be like, I got a karaoke tip jar. I don't want the motherfucking tips. I'm just there to fucking sing and have fun. Like, tip the damn bartender. She's the one serving it. I'm just up here playing damn songs.
Like, that's the same dude that'll take his 50 cents.
Yeah.
And not give it to the bartender on the fucking drink that he just ordered.
And so I'm just like, man, like, he's like, he got his songs ready and shit, you know, and so, but he, you know, I'll go meet him at the chair because I know he's not gonna stand up, and he has his little MO, and then another old dude comes in, they're like, yeah, he sings all the time, and whoop de whoop, he's in a wheelchair. So it was just about catered. Like, I've never met these dudes before, but I've now
a set of regulars,
yeah, like now I know that they're here to sing and shit, and so I want to be a representation for my friends and shit, and like I want to make sure that these people that are here to sing, we sing and have a good time. Right. So I used to work at America's Pub back in the day, and I started out as security, and then I moved it to entertainer, and then after I got fired, so to speak, whatever, however the fuck that happened.
It's a good story if you don't know it.
Whatever that happened. Shit, like, it don't matter, but I fucking ended up just partying at the pub and shit or whatever. But our motto whenever we worked at the pub was like, whether it's 5 or 5,000, we are going to party. And it's going to be like, I'm gonna give you the same energy, whether it's 5 of us in this bitch or whether it's 500 in this motherfucker. And so, like, literally, like, when, you know, 8 o'clock hit last night, the little bartender, she's so sweet too, Elisa, shout out to her. She was just like, she's like, man, I feel so bad for you. And I was like, why? She's like, well, because she's like, there's nobody really here. And she's like, would you mind if I closed early if, like, it's like this in like an hour? I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm still getting paid.
Yeah, and you leave it. And
regardless.
Shit, where we going?
Like, I'm still getting paid regardless of whether you shut down in an hour or fucking 4 hours from now. So it don't matter to me. So I was like, it's whatever. So I go up there and I do my little intro, and it's literally me, Eliza, and James in the back corner and shit. And there have been some other people that were in the bar and shit or whatever, but they had left before I had started doing the karaoke shit. But then, you know, of course, more people started trickling in as the night went on. And then there's a pretty decent crowd there. I mean, for my first time. And
well, yeah, you're just getting the people. I mean, you set up a flyer like 2 fucking days ago. Like, so, like, you're just getting the people that are regulars at Vorshay's for that right now.
And the crowd don't show up till 9 or 10 anyway.
Well, they're always gonna be. They're always gonna be an hour and a half behind whatever time you put on the fucking flyer.
So,
that's for sure.
But I mean, it was dope. And like you said, you know, I sang a couple songs and shit or whatever.
Did you sing "Save Me"?
Did I sing "Save Me" yesterday?
I
think I might have. Yeah.
These things are pretty good.
I think.
Did you all your old songs?
What's your go-to? What's your?
Probably right now, "Save Me" or some Creed.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some Benny King.
You got that rock voice.
Some
Benny
King.
You would be pretty. You would be blown away, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
How'd you do in the? Before we get too far past karaoke, how'd you do in the AJ's karaoke competition? How'd that go?
Failed fucking miserably.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
that last year.
Okay. So let me tell you about that shit.
Yeah, because I've been meaning to ask you about it.
So, I frequent AJ's often. It's a dope little spot. The owner.
The Asian guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. What's his name? Art. Yeah, nice guy.
Art.
Very nice guy.
Art's ass. He comes up to me one night and he's like, you should get in the karaoke contest. And I'm like, man. He's like, come on, he's like, you can win. And I'm just like,
gassing you up?
Gaslight me like a motherfucker, bro. No, boy, he set my ass up, bro. So I was like, all right, I'll enter the contest. Because they're like, win a trip to Texas to the karaoke finals. When
they have a sister bar there.
When, you know,
cool.
So they going to take the grand finale winner down there to win
El Paso or something.
$2,500 or El Paso, San Antonio, some shit. And the winner win like $2,500, $5,000 or some shit, whatever. They pay for the trip. Yeah,
that's not a bad little score for that.
For singing.
Yeah,
for singing somebody else shit. Hell no, that ain't bad.
And last year you got some big ass TV.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So you win something at the AJ thing, and then you
okay. So the ones that they was having here that I entered and shit, it was to qualify to enter the grand finale, which was just last week, and then the winner of that goes on to Texas.
I got you.
So I entered like he was on Sunday nights, and so it was my Sunday night, and so I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I
didn't fall somebody that killed it or something.
So what had happened was,
that's what we got to name this show.
I get there and like I'm just like okay, and I'm like all right, I'm gonna do my songs, shit or whatever, and I forgot what songs I did and shit. I might have did Simple Man or I don't know some shit or I don't remember. Save Me, so I don't fucking know. But anyways, I'm doing the song shit or whatever, and they do like by cards, you know, like at the order and shit or whatever. And I happened to go 10th that night. Fuck me. No, I went 16th that night.
Is that many?
There was like in the first, in that opening round, there was like 20 something. Or 8. Man, there was a lot of people that damn night. And I ended up going 16th. Worst shit that it probably could have ever happened. Cause so I'm watching like all these other people perform and shit or whatever, and I'm just like,
these people are ready.
This is what we doing. And I judged it last year, man, and people show out for that thing in costume.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like with choreography and stuff like that.
Man, bro,
and it's full.
So check this shit out. I get up there, I do my song and shit, and I'm just like, and they're like, yeah, if you sit down on the stage, you're definitely gonna lose. Like if you just sit in the chair and sing the song, because that's what I do most of the time when I do karaoke. I just sit in the chair and I just croon out and just sing and shit. You know, it's just like that's my vibe. Well, if you do that, you're automatically gonna lose in karaoke. So they're like, you gotta get up and interact with the crowd and whoop de whoop and do this, do that, yada yada yada, and I'm just like, okay. So I think I did Stand By Me or some shit because like I was walking around and I was singing and whoop-de-whoop and I was trying to engage with people and shit or whatever.
Trying to go full front.
Yeah. Man. Anyways, that night I ended up taking like, I don't know, 6th place or something. I don't know, whatever. I totally barely
made the next round.
Yeah, barely made the next round.
At least you made the next round, though.
Yeah, I made the next round.
Did you go home and make a cake and shit?
No. But then that night, the dude I lost to, it was a little gay guy, and he had all his little friends. He had a table full of motherfuckers, and I didn't know that this is it's crowd. It's a popularity contest.
Well, man,
it's based on crowd.
There are categories to the scorecard.
Yeah.
Well, if you judge it.
Yeah, no, there's categories to it. It's like crowd participation, vocal quality is just one of them. You know what I mean?
I feel like that should be number one.
And like stage performance.
The singing and shit is like probably the lowest shit on.
Well, it's like one of 5 categories.
Yeah, and they're all graded equally, I'm sure.
Yeah, but so the little gay guy, now he can do shit that I can't do. So he can hit Celine Dion notes. I can't hit Celine Dion notes. He can stand up on the A&J's motherfucking chair and do the tight thing. I stood up on them people shit. I'm gonna sue. They gonna sue me. I'm gonna break some of that shit. If I try to stand on anything in that motherfucking bar, I'm gonna break something or break my fucking self.
Oh yeah, hurt yourself and then you get a lawsuit.
I'm like, what the fuck? Now I'm sitting here and he's like, he is fucking killing it.
He killed it.
I'm just like, man, fuck this. I come back.
It's getting real now. The states come on.
I came back 2 weeks later for the finals. I wasn't nowhere near kind of ready.
It got even harder.
These motherfuckers, like Aaron said, these motherfuckers was in costumes.
They show out, man. They show out.
And everything. I was up against a Marvel superhero. It was a girl with a goddamn prosthetic leg and a goddamn super dress. motherfuckers with lights on. It was motherfucking drag queens.
These motherfuckers had their moms make this shit.
It was the wildest shit.
You dangle $2,500 in front of somebody, man, and they start.
People love karaoke.
Yeah,
people love karaoke,
and that's the art of it too. It's like you.
I was not ready. This was.
You didn't come with like a special pair of boots.
No, I didn't come with nothing, man, because I wasn't. I was just like, okay, because they didn't unleash none of that shit the first week, really. Except for the Dark Angel dude. He the one to be out on 21st of May. You know, the little black dude to be in the cape.
Oh, yes.
And Night Ranger or what, Black Avenger or whatever the fuck. Dark Wing.
He's like our superhero. He'll hit a stop on you and put the cape up. Yeah. Like today, he's probably running around out there today.
Do you know he beat me in the contest?
He sings? I didn't even know he sings.
Man, he did some.
I work for the city, so I've seen that guy for years.
Did some In Vogue or some shit or some Janet Jackson. He beat me in the contest.
Really?
Well, I mean,
how many people was in the finals? How many was it?
Like 16, 15 or 16 or some shit.
You just get one song?
They send
in the finals you got 2 songs.
2 songs.
But they send like 5 people or something.
They're gonna take like 5 people.
No, that's cool.
There'll be like a
damn,
one that
come to this finals. This sounds like it's lit.
Well, they just had it last week.
Yeah, damn, I should have went to that.
But bro, so
we'll be host next year if you want, man. We'll talk to Art.
So
he called me this year to host.
Nice, dude. I'd do it.
I got there for the finals and shit. I wasn't nowhere near ready.
You was in JV?
Hell, I wasn't even in JV. I was in the freshman class. I was like the C team shit. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then what fucked me up was some of them, after they first song, went and changed costumes.
Costume change. Yeah. You balling if you got a costume change. Yeah. There's people that do concerts that don't change a costume.
Bro, I was not nowhere near ready. And then, of course, like the girl who won, she was the girl with the prosthetic leg and shit. And of course, she did a couple costume changes and shit. I was like, they only giving it to her because she got a fresher leg than all of us and shit.
Well, man, but that's the deal. Like on America's Got Talent, if you got a story behind yourself,
or any of those shows,
then they'll do the whole side piece on you. Let's go to your hometown and talk to your friends.
And then she can sing too.
And she got these customized dope legs.
She's overcome so much.
Yeah, her fucking legs are all customized with fucking designs.
Really?
Man, she got some dope ass legs. I was like, your leg is fresher than mine.
Your robot legs is way tighter than mine.
Her robot leg fresher than all our legs. And I was just like, damn. And she had just got a new one when I seen her the last time.
She updating this shit? She ain't gonna hit you with the same robot leg every week?
She probably taking a new one down to the contest. When
different songs require different legs.
Damn,
I ain't she going that hard. She deserved the $2,500.
If you're gonna do Tina Turner, so you gotta do a certain thing.
And she can sing too, right?
So I found out that I am not a karaoke contest performer. I'm just a
guy that just likes to sing karaoke.
I'm just a motherfucker like to do karaoke.
Nah, man, you're an MC.
Yeah.
You know, like if that's your skill set lie.
Yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy myself, have a couple drinks, sing a couple songs. These motherfuckers trying to get on off Broadway. They out here, bro. I was like, this is a production. I wasn't ready for a production. I was like, man, RC 250. Oh, hell yeah. Come on, man. I'ma kill this. I'ma get up here. I'm a Benny Kenny. I'ma get up there and tear that shit. Boy, they Celine Dion and Disney. And then what was crazy? This shit really, and this is how I knew I was gonna lose at the night of the finals and shit. This is how I knew I was gonna lose. They had one of the motherfuckers that had won in the past do a selection of one of his winning songs.
So he can.
This is already award winner.
So this dude come up and this is what you had to do.
So this is a white boy, and he come on up and he get the chair, put it out in the middle of the damn dance floor, and he come on and position himself, and they hit the music, and it's some song about riding in a truck or some shit. So now he's like, it was a show tune or some shit.
He's acting out.
He's just like
acting out like he's in the truck.
Yeah, like he's in the he's fucking tearing it up. And like next thing you know, he's like, bam, he up on the chair, and then like I was just like,
damn, these motherfuckers choreographed this shit.
I was like, what? And then they were like, and then of course the karaoke after you sing, and everybody's just like, oh! I was like, oh, fuck. And then they're like, this is what you gotta bring if you're ready. I was like, well, I'm definitely fucking losing. I was like, well, I'm definitely losing tonight.
Yeah, I would have already been mad when they told me I couldn't sit down.
I was already pissed off about that because I'm like, damn, that take off half my points right there.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all fucking up my stage presence. I like the vibe out. I was like, I'm not James Brown, motherfucker. I'm not about to do. Get down. Hey, motherfucker, I get down, I can't get back up. Y'all got me. It was too much. I was like, my performing days are behind the microphone talking about violence.
Yeah.
Like, not entertaining drunk motherfuckers on South's fucking Meridian. I'm
in
like,
costume.
In costume.
I ain't mad at somebody who goes that hard. But damn.
No, man. Look, best of luck to whoever win the A&J's thing because, like, they earn it.
Yeah, I gotta check this
because
out.
Just going to karaoke there is just fun. Period. Like, because you got Captain Ron there, or no, yeah, Captain Ron. He's an old white guy. He comes in with like the wings, the glitter glasses, the light up glasses. Like he'll have the wing, like the big like cape wings. They'll have the LED lights in them. Man. Oh no, he's just a regular. Captain Ron's just a regular.
He does that on every Tuesday.
That's just him. Yeah, that's him on a Friday. That's Captain. Yeah, Captain Ron just being there,
just running out.
And then they got then Pastor Mike. He's an old.
I know Pastor Mike.
You know Pastor Mike. Pastor Mike is my God. Man, Pastor Mike be having me rolling. Because Pastor Mike be trying to serenade every bitch. A&J's. It is the greatest thing ever.
He's scooting to him, huh? Right?
Oh, Pastor Mike. The last time was last week. He did a whole birthday set for the birthday girls.
There you go.
Like, literally had them, like, put chairs out. And, like, he's just, like, just giving them the business. And I was like, oh, Pastor Mike, boy. I was like, Pastor Mike's a character, man. But,
yeah, I met him through the sports show on television, on radio.
Oh, nice. Yeah, man. But I love going there, man. Hey, karaoke's just fun, man. And
karaoke's fun if it's like that, like, and I've been to one or two of them.
That shit was intense.
That's cooler to me. Like when you just at a karaoke bar that does it like every night of the week.
Yeah.
And like it's the same 8 motherfuckers singing the same 8 songs. Like I don't know how the people that work there don't blow their head off.
I think, I don't know.
Yeah, like at those places, like you're telling me like people show up and really put some time into it, and most of the people that sing are pretty good. Like I'm in for that kind of karaoke, but like your everyday run-of-the-mill karaoke is.
Like I know because there's this dude and he. Oh my God! Like when I see him, I'm like, oh fuck! I know he's gonna do this damn song, and. He does Do Hoss by Rammstein.
Oh, great. No.
And it is the most mind-numbing shit.
Yeah, it's like
you've ever heard.
There's some songs like that need to have a karaoke edit.
Like if Rammstein heard him,
tequila. You know.
If Rammstein heard him do this, they would kill him.
Really?
Like they would be so pissed off. Like, cause it's hard to fuck. Dude, it's hard to.
Yeah, it's only.
How do you fuck that up?
Yeah, there's not much to it.
And then like I guess he's of some kind of like German descent, so he starts singing it in German.
Oh, so he goes off script.
Yeah, and so like everybody's seeing it in English, and then he's like doing it in German. Everybody's like, "What the fuck is this?" And like, it's mind numbing, but it's pretty interesting. Like you get some
some of those are fun though. I mean,
because karaoke is just about like self expression and being free and having fun, honestly. And so, if that's how he has fun, then Rammstein it up.
Yeah,
buddy.
no, it's not. It's never been my lane. I've karaoke like 10 times in my life.
So would you rather MC karaoke or the MMA you do?
Oh, MMA for sure.
Yeah, all day.
Oh yeah,
great transition.
Yeah,
so you are the color commentator for Evolution. What's their whole thing?
Evolution Fighting Championship.
Evolution Fighting Championship.
Yes.
So how the fuck did you get involved in that, dude?
Man.
I know me and you've always watched boxing and MMA. Yeah. Like we've always loved this shit. But how'd you parlay that gig? That's fucking awesome.
Man, okay. So basically, how this all happened was. I don't know if you guys remember Rick Thomas from T95.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so me and Rick Thomas, we used to have a sports show together called Two Guys Talking Sports. And it kind of went away because, you know, this is kind of before the Me Too movement and shit or whatever. But Rick kind of got Me Too'd back then and shit or whatever. And then so I had to like distance myself from him.
Seems to be a radio DJ thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
And so like I distanced myself from him, and then I went on, and then I was doing like announcing like just announcing for the Kansas Cougars, like semi-pro football team.
Indoor?
No, they're
outdoor.
They're outdoor.
It's full football?
Yeah, it's full. 11 on 11. They're called the Kansas Skyhawks now.
Where do they play?
All over. When I know
Where they get a field.
well, when I was with them, they were playing out in Newton.
Okay.
And I think they play in like Rose Hill or somewhere now. I don't remember. But anyways, I was doing that for some years and stuff. And so I've always been into like combat sports and like, you know, Pride and K1 and like the early no hold bars like form of UFC.
I remember renting those motherfuckers from Blockbuster.
Yeah, like I have like most of them on VHS.
Yeah, I used to rent them for Blockbuster.
Like I have like most of like all the first like UFC.
Those are the first time I saw the UFC were on those VHS.
Like the tournament formats, like no weight classes,
no weight classes,
rules,
fucking
like,
shoes.
Yeah, shoes. Like
one dude, is it UFC one that the guy groin punched to a win? Is that UFC one? Mm-hmm. A guy literally punched a dude in the nuts until the fight was over. Like the dude was just like, there was no rules.
It was no holds barred.
There was only no biting. I think was the only thing. Eye gouging and biting.
No eye gouging, no biting,
and headbutting.
Yeah, no headbutting. But like everything else, like that was like when
the guy literally won a fight via groin punch.
Like that was in the days of like Kevin Randleman used to be like my favorite.
He was one of my early favorites.
He used to be my favorite because like he would get you in the crucifix and then just deliver the most vicious elbows that I've ever seen.
Just pin you against the fucking floor.
He would just like, he would have you stretched out, and then like, once he got you, you just like, and this is when you could just come down.
And there was 30-minute time limits on those fucking fights, I think?
Something like that. Yeah. And you could just like, you were just so vicious, and then like Chemo and Ken Shamrock.
I like Tank was Abbott. Big
Tank Abbott was fun.
Yeah, because he's just a big beer belly motherfucker. He's a good wrestler in college.
Like Emmanuel Yarborough is the one that got me so intrigued and shit. Because I was like, look at this big ass black dude, and then he get in there and he got Steve Jessup destroyed. I was like, okay. I was like, black dude need to learn some skills. I was like, he got in there and got his big sumo ass tore up. But I've always been into like combat sports. So going back to working at America's Pub, we always used to do all different kind of shows. They would do rock shows, you know, boxing, remember like we have like midget wrestling and all different kind of shit. Well, eventually we had like linked up with these and we started doing MMA shows there. And like they would come in and like we would literally set up the MMA cage on the dance floor.
Jesus.
And we would have MMA shows in the pub. And David the Caveman Rickles, this is back when he was first starting out in the game and was 18. He's young.
Yeah.
And so he started fighting at the pub and stuff with JMTK and all them boys and stuff. And back in the day, the Beatdown Boys and Chris Haynes, there's a whole bunch of guys. And through that's how I met Caveman. Well, fast forward, like Caveman goes on.
He's got his own gym and everything now.
Yeah, he goes on to, get into Bellator, and he ends up winning the tournament, won $100,000, all that. Ended up getting married. So he came back.
He's a local guy too. He lives around here.
Derby.
Derby. Jim's in Derby, right?
No, Jim's here in Wichita.
Jim's in Wichita.
He's from Derby.
From Derby, yeah.
But the gym's on K96 in Greenwich.
Yeah.
So Caveman basically came back, and then in 2015, by this time he was well established in the Bellator. He was like a Bellator OG at this point. Oh yeah, he fought he's 25 fights deep in Bellator, won the tournament, had the kid, getting his family going. So he linked up with the other two owners, Steve Hansen and Chris Gerhardt, and they started EFC back in 2015. And they did their first show out at Beach Activity Center. And it's so funny because you can't do events there anymore.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a hot minute ago.
Yeah, so like EFC was actually one of the final events that was ever held there. And then Beach just turned it into a facility for, company use only. And they stopped renting it out to the public. So they had their first event there. And I remember I was doing something else and I didn't get to go to it. But I remember, seeing, everybody there and all my homies and stuff. And I was like, damn, this is super awesome. I was like, we got, local MMA. I was like, this is dope. So the next show, right before the next show, EFC 2, David hit me up and he was like, hey, Big Will. He was like, hey, bro. He's like, you see, I started like an MMA company, and he's like, yada, yada, yada. He was like, we want to run it kind of like UFC, and we want to put production behind it and, make it, as legit as possible. And he was like, I want to come and talk to you. So like one day he came over to my crib and stuff or whatever. We sat down and I was like, man, if the money's right, I'm with it, bro. I was like, just let me know. And so he came over, we talked, and he's like, hey, this is what we could do. And I was like, I'm with it, bro. So I got on at EFC 2 in 2015. And the next show was at Century 2. And then so we did the next 2 shows at Century 2, and we did EFC 2 and EFC 3. And we were all still learning.
Yeah, you just started promotion.
Like
it's a brand new promotion.
We were all
brand new company.
We were all still learning, and so we were still kind of unprofessional, getting fucking drunk and like
talking shit on the air.
And so
podcasting your productions.
Yeah, and so we're still learning and shit or whatever. So now I look back at like 2 and 3, I'm just like, oh my god. I'm like, man. But once 4 hit, that was when I was like, I gotta take this serious.
Yeah, they're paying. You gotta do eventually.
And
do
I was like,
man.
And 3 was a wake up call for all of us because like it would just it was in the early stages of Dave's booking and booking fights, and like that was a fight when Dana White showed up, and so like Dana White came to EFC, and it was
you guys weren't ready, really.
Well, the fight, just the whole show was just like. It was just like, it wasn't like, some of the shows that we've had like down the road, like where there was like, holy shit, that was a great night. Like EFC 3 was just like, oh shit. Like there was just there were some mismatches. And just
fights
like,
can take a shit on you in a hurry.
Yeah.
That last card we just saw happen too.
Yeah. I mean, and it was just like, after that, like Dana, like basically shit on EFC, like on,
so you're like one chance it didn't go well.
Yeah, like it was like, you're one shot and you're like on America's Got Talent, and then like you get all X and you're like, shit, like damn.
Whoops.
And so like ever since then, we had to regroup, and then we did a couple shows at Century 2, and then after that we ended up and that was when we were on Flow Combat, and those shows got broadcast. We had a contract with Flow Combat for like the first like 3 or 4 shows or something like that, and then after that we got a contract and we moved to Kansas Star.
No, to the casino.
Yeah, we moved out to the casino.
Yeah, I did one of those shows out there. I was the supervisor out there in the arena.
Nice. And so we moved out to Kansas Star, and Kansas Star was okay for the first couple shows.
It sounded like it didn't go well after that.
Well, it was so damn expensive.
Oh, to rent the user place?
Yeah, it was so expensive. And like, I don't know as far as like on their side, but along the way of me being involved in EFC or whatever, I noticed a need for merchandise. And they were just doing like, I noticed that they were doing just one-off shirts and stuff and hoodies. And I was like, man, well, where's all the other stuff? Where's like the keychains and the cups and all this and the hats and the beanie? Where's all this? And like, so the other owner, Steve, he was just like, I don't really have time to do all that. But if you want to do it, you can. And I was like, oh yeah? He's like, yeah, go for it. So initially I like dumped like a few $1,000s into like merchandise and stuff or whatever. And
you became the merch guy.
Yeah. Well,
kind of.
It was like my merch and then their merch.
Right.
And so, like, you know,
it's yours is yours.
Yeah, when you buy the fucking merch, it's just your merch.
So, like, so I had to have my own merch guy, and then they had their own merch guy, and, you know, so that's kind of how we ran it for, you know, on then. And so the only thing about the casino was, like, it sucked. Like, I'll tell you. I was paying 33% in taxes. Ooh. Before I even got to touch the money.
Oh, wow. Because it's in the casino?
Well, you got to think, like, with the way that it was working for me was, like, I have to pay EFC because now I'm losing, like, you know.
Licensing.
Yeah. Like, I gotta pay the
using
house.
their trademarks to sell your merch.
Yeah, even though
it's your merch.
Yeah, even though it's my shit, but it's my family, but I still got to pay the house, which I don't mind. So I had to pay them, but then you had to pay the casino, and then you had to pay the arena, and then you got to pay the state. So between those four things, it was 33%.
So those 7 days pulling all your money.
33% taxes off the top before I could even, like, you know, count, and it was crazy. And then that also happened with, like, you know, the boys and shit, and then also the casino got the liquor and all that shit. So it was just like, damn.
So they was doing that to the fighters too, as well.
Well, no, the fighters are like, honestly, like, as far as, like, when it comes to, like, us and, like, fighters and, like, we've heard, like, I would hear the fighters say, man, y'all are one of the best company. Y'all treat fighters right. And, you know, like, that's one thing I do know about, like, Dave and Steve and all them is, like, they make sure to, like, take care of, like, the fighters, especially the guys that come out of town. Right. You know, to come and fight or whatever, that aren't going to get those hometown ticket sales and stuff or whatever. Yeah, and, you know, they make sure that, you know, everybody's compensated well and shit. You're just not fighting for pennies and shit if you're a pro and everything. You know, the Amis, they don't get paid. But, you know, if you're a pro, they make sure to take care of them.
Well, he comes from Bellator, and they always took care of people.
Yeah, and so, you know, it's, and, you know, like when we had, I can't remember his name, but we had some guy come in. He was, like, from California. And he had came out, and he's just like, yeah, he's like, y'all are one of the coolest promotions that I've ever, like, came to. And he's like, it's a cool vibe. He's like, y'all treat people right. And he's like, and so it's just been dope to just, like, watch us all grow together as, like, a unit. Because, like, we've been doing this for, like, 7 years now.
Yeah. And what number are you guys on?
Wow. We will be on 17. So, I mean, it's a slow progress for us.
Yeah, well, you can only do like 3 or 4 a year. I mean,
because like there's a lot of, like, Kansas is, like, you know, there's only so many referees and, you know,
and the commission's not even that big here.
Yeah, and the commission is going through some changes and everything.
And the Kansas commission's not easy to deal with.
Yeah, and so I mean, the Kansas commission are great.
They're not bad.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. So it's just it's a matter of just because there's always shows going on, like now, like, so, you know, whether it's in Casey, like on Kansas side, Topeka, you know, Manhattan.
So where do you guys do the shows here now?
So now we are out at after our contract with Kansas Star ended, we ended up moving to Hartman Arena.
Nice.
And
that's a good location.
I like Hartman Arena.
Well, they fucking need something out there.
So
use the building.
Yeah, and so the dope thing about being out there is, like, it's just way better. It's just way better for everybody involved. Like, the facility is way more accommodating. Like, it's a lot easier access to, like, deal with. It's
got great parking. It's a nice fucking building, man. I like it.
It's a really great facility. We did have some controversy, like, a couple of shows ago, like EFC 15. It was really bad, and, like, some of my friends were really pissed off. And I was like, so they just the manager there didn't prepare properly, like, and then kind of blamed us for it. Like, they ran out of water. The service was, like, the lines to get concession and everything.
They were just understaffed and unprepared.
They were very unprepared, and then the manager proceeded to blame us as an organization, saying that they didn't know how many people were going to be there, and they underestimated. But that's the whole thing. That's the thing. They knew the day before because they collect all the damn tickets from us.
Yeah, exactly.
So they knew exactly. And then my buddy who owns a business, who I got him to be a sponsor for EFC. I mean, and that's thousands of dollars. And so, of course, he's down on the floor, floor seats. And, like these people that have paid, $1,000 for sponsorship, right. Expect,
you gotta cater to them.
Yeah,
you have to take care of our sponsors. People. VIPs is a real thing.
And it's just like, man, he's like, I don't want to sponsor this if we're going to get service like this because that sucks. And I'm just like, man, I feel you. And like, they got so many complaints with that manager, and like one of the big things, my buddy was like, why don't you just buy a ton of water if y'all are selling bottle? Why don't you just have like pallets of water? Just like, well, he's like, I can't do that. Well, why can't you? Aren't you the manager? It was little things that caused a big ass problem, and it made us look really bad,
especially when you got VIPs, man.
Like it made us look really bad because it was just like, they're like, oh, we didn't know this many people were gonna show up.
How did you not know
that, bro?
That's just blame passing.
Yeah, it was really weird, but
they straightened out. Sounds like
they rectified it at the last show, and so they did a lot better this time.
I mean, I feel like you can overbuy water; it'll be here for the next show.
Yeah,
bring the Aquafina truck in, man,
or the next event.
We're never not going to need fucking 5,000 bottles of water for every goddamn event we do here.
Exactly, and that was my buddy's. Like when he was like talking to them, he was like, "You're gonna use this water,
overbuying the shit out of this,
buying bulk at a discount.
Yeah, literally, the truck should just back up and unhook.
Yeah,
drop off here,
bro. Like you are here running a huge facility. You're going to use this water.
And that's one thing, honestly, nowadays, you cannot fucking run out of water.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you're charging me $4 for it, and you run out of this shit?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was crazy, but, I mean, thankfully, that got rectified between that show and our last show.
So how many, like, shows do you guys have planned out in advance? Do you have, like, there's 2 or 3 coming, or, like, how do you know?
No, it's just because our owner, Steve, he, like, works out of the country. And so, but it's a 3-headed monster, and we need all 3 of them to be here. So, like, it's just when they can all 3 be here.
So you can and make it all work.
Yeah, and then to all,
then you guys are going to fighters, and then that's a lot of shit.
So they all do different things. Like, Steve is like the business aspect, Dave's the booker, and then Chris Gerhardt is just like the operations, like making sure the cage and making sure all the facility, everything is good to go. And then Dave is the one that's dealing with the fighters and booking all the fights and tickets and all that. And then Steve is the one that's doing all the logistics and the paperwork and
permits and all that shit.
Yeah, all that shit. So everybody does their own thing, and then so now it's just like it's just a waiting game. So we just wait to see when the next one is.
Because doesn't
and they'll let me know.
Doesn't Darren DJ for those?
Yeah, Dizzy.
Yeah,
Dizzy's been the DJ for years.
He's a Club Blue owner.
Yeah, he's been the DJ for EFC for years, man.
He's an OG DJ in this town.
Oh, it's so fun. And it's so funny.
He's been around just as long as Carbon, maybe not longer. I don't know. He's been them 2.
I remember in the early days, like if the fighters wouldn't give him like a song, he would have him come out to the dumbest shit. Like,
well, I mean, that's how it works, right?
Like, hey, bro, give me a song. Oh, you're not
safety
gonna give
dance,
me a song?
Hit you with safety dance.
Yeah, like coming out to the ABC song. Like, dummy. Like,
here's some good shit lollipop.
But yeah, Dizzy's a good dude, man. He's a good guy, man.
Yeah, he is. Well, yeah. So check out how do you say
EFC Evolution Fighting Championship. You can follow us on Facebook, EFC Wichita on Instagram.
Also, get behind anything that's got Dave Rickles involved, especially with Big Will, because that's really cool shit.
Yeah,
Dave's a good dude.
Oh man,
I've never met a person I've never met the man myself, but everybody that I've ever talked to the guy said he's nothing but great. So when you hear that from everybody, it's pretty easy to.
Caveman's fun, man.
Yeah, Caveman's a good dude. He puts a lot of money into this town too. I mean,
yeah, and they just opened up 316 Martial Arts out on K96 in Greenwich.
It's a full MMA gym.
Yeah, MMA, kickboxing,
nice,
BBJ. So They're out there teaching little kids to roll and become the next caveman.
Yeah, dude.
Like his little daughter.
We can get a little hub going here, man.
She's a little badass. Like Alexa, his daughter, she's like in the BBJ. Like she's gonna be the next killer that comes out of their house.
Oh,
like,
I bet.
Like she'll end up in like Bellator or UFC. Like she's a little badass. She like, you can tell she got that killer instinct like her dad does.
Yeah.
Like
that's what it takes.
Yeah.
I mean, especially once you get in there, because I've known a lot of fighters like you haven't. You talk to them, and some of them are really good in the gym, and then you put them in the cage, and man, they just fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, and you see that, like, I mean, like one of the funny. I got a great story for you, and I won't mention his name because I don't want to embarrass.
Because I'm not getting in there and fighting. So anybody that had the nuts to get in there,
so it was EFC. I want to say EFC 14, I believe.
Well, shit, now we can go watch it. You
just
said his fucking name.
Or 13.
It was in the team.
It was one of them. Anyways, so we're in the middle of the show. Like, we are live, and we're on, like, Fight TV now.
Yeah, I knew you guys went to Fight TV. I've watched a couple of them.
We're live, worldwide, like, in the middle of the show. Like, hot. And I'm not even bullshit. Like, we were so confused. We were like, well, what the fuck do we do? Right before this fight was supposed to happen, the producer gets in my ear and she's like, hey, fight number 5 is scrapped. And we're just like, what? We're on fight 4. What you mean fight 5?
We've already done 5.
Is scrapped. Like, his opponent, is MIA. Like, what? So we're like, okay. And they're like, just say something about how we're going to bring the next opponent, the next fighter out, and like just talk to him about what happened.
Doesn't he get a DQ win for that? Or no?
Yeah, he gets a win.
Does he get his purse probably too? Maybe?
Well, they were amateurs.
No,
no.
Okay.
So they bring the dude out to the ring that's still there. And they're like, so, this is the first in history. And they're like, so, you were supposed to fight next, but your opponent just left the building. So, like, I guess as we're, like, you know, in the broadcast, you know, they have runners and people that are telling the fighters, hey, you know, fight 3, 4, you know, you guys need to start getting taped up, you know,
keeping shit on track.
You know, we'll make sure, you know, people are ready for their fights, you know, just in case shit moves along faster. So I guess, you know, while fight 1 and 2 is going on, now fights 3, 4, 5 need to start getting taped up and stuff or whatever. Well, I guess the kid, like, didn't want to get taped up or whatever, and I don't know, he was like scared, I don't know, nervous or some shit, I don't know. But anyway, so they're like, hey, such and such isn't, you know, getting taped up. So Steve has to go in the back and, like, he's talking to the kid or whatever, giving him the edible. You got this, man. You can do this. You're going to be fine once you get out there. Yeah, whoop-de-whoop. And so, like, you know, and so I guess the kid was like, okay. So Steve comes back out to the cage, and, you know, now the fights are still going on and stuff or whatever. And then, like, the next thing you know, the producer's just like, yeah,
he left.
The fight's canceled because he packed up all of his stuff and has literally left the building.
There you go.
We're like, what? Like, we're like, no way.
Yeah, that's right before.
And so, like, they had to bring his opponent out, and then we have to explain to the crowd what happened. And the crowd's like, boo! And all this shit. Literally. Before, like, less than, like, 30 minutes later, the kid is on Facebook like, yeah, He's like making Facebook posts after he done just like bailed on a live fucking show. He's like, yeah, I don't really care, but you know, people can say whatever, and you know, and then he started blaming it on like mental health or some shit. People just like, bro, that is such a damn call out, bro. Like,
you just want to fight. You can just say that.
I mean, and for real, some people do, like, you know, we've seen some people like, it's like the deer caught in the headlight.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know until you get there.
You know, and like it happened to this kid at the last show, man. Like, he was just like, he was super ready, trained hard, and everything. He was ready. He got out there, and like,
those lights are different, man.
As soon as that bell hit, like, it didn't click for him or whatever. And
might not have been able to breathe. I mean,
and then like the next thing you know, it was like, it was 9 seconds and it was over.
Oh, damn.
Like, he got knocked out in 9 seconds. Like, I mean, because the bell rang, and then like when the bell rang, I don't think his bell rang.
Like, he's still like, just kind of.
Yeah, and like he was just like in the moment, and then the next thing you know, the homie was on him and then hit him. And then the homie like was like he was shocked
that
in himself. He was just like, because he lived, like, if you go back and watch the clip, he hits him and knocks him down, and he was just like, the hell?
Like, the hell? It wasn't supposed to be this easy. It wasn't supposed to be this easy.
Yeah, and then it was just like 9 seconds, and then it was over, and it was just like, it was just one of those moments where.
Yeah, just, I mean, you know, I can only imagine what that's like. I've watched a ton of fights like you, but I ain't never been in there.
Man, it's very intense, man. You got to be ready.
You got to be, your anxiety level's got to be at 5,000 trying to do that shit.
Well, like, so whenever, like, I did it before I got fat and my leg got fucked up and all that shit, for me, it was always like, I go into it as like, he's going to kill me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kill him. And that's how I would look at it. But I wouldn't want to kill him, but I'm going to beat his ass and shit, because like, that's just the way I look at it. Like, he's going to try to kill me.
He's
like,
going to do everything he can to knock me the fuck out of here.
So now I have to make sure that he don't touch me, and then I fuck him up. And that's just the way that, you know, it goes in fight. You got to have that killer instinct. Something got to be off. You can't be all the way there. I've never met, like, but I'm like, there has to be a disconnect with something, and like, cause like, I'm like, damn, I got hit and I like that. That shit is weird. Like, I'm like,
I mean, you see winners at the end of fights. They look like they can do that.
Yeah, and it'd be brutal, man. And I'm like, you know what? I like that shit, but I like my face. I'm like, fuck this. I was like, I'm gonna talk about it instead. I was like, let's go this route. So I'll leave that fight to the young motherfuckers and shit. Like, you won't see being no granddaddy championship fights. Hell no. Like, you want to get in there one more time? No, I don't.
So we're getting towards the hour mark, and before we get too far, before we wrap this up, I got to get your opinion on what happened with the Hitman. So,
man.
So what? I have always kind of heard stuff about him, but now I just assumed since nothing ever happened, it was nothing.
Okay, so man, I've always, like, you know, you've heard things and seen things, and you know, Hitman's been around since the KKRD days.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's been around for 30 fucking years. Yeah,
and so it's been, when the shit came out, I was just like, damn, and I was just like, okay, now. When the dude came out with the story, and then I read the shit, and I'm just like, okay.
I read the whole story too. DJ whatever.
DJ Cool Out.
Yeah, Cool Out, yeah.
So I was just thinking to myself, like, now, if I'm a straight man, and you do
what he described,
to me in the bathroom, you probably not gonna walk up the bathroom, or somebody gonna walk up.
Some sort of physical altercation.
It's gonna be something.
I'm gonna push you off me or something,
or we gonna fight or something. But it's just not. It's not gonna be like, oh.
Well, I mean, I don't know that guy.
I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know him personally, and I don't know the situation. But I just know if a gay man did that to me and then I wasn't comfortable with it, I would do something. Like, especially if you hit me in the chest and then trying to
put your hands on me and stuff.
I would be like, hey.
If it's like he described.
Yeah, if it's like he described, it's like, hey. But then I don't know. But I don't know. And see, and a lot of people don't know. And like, I can't speak for what I don't know.
Then there was talk that he wasn't even in the building when this happened. And then there's talk that he did come back to the building. It's like,
and then they were like, well, there's video and all this and shit and everything. And I'm just like, oh, Lord. So I'm just like, all right, well, I've heard shit about the Hitman before. I remember when they had Crash and the Hitman. And I remember when I would see him and Crash out back in the day. And they would like womanize chicks and shit or whatever and girls. And you would hear stories about Crash and the Hitman back in the day and shit or whatever.
The stories first.
Yeah. And
I've never been out with him, but I've heard the stories about like him being kind of a sleaze.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, well, shit. And then you're just like, well, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I was like, I don't know. But then what fucked me up about the whole Cool Out thing was like, damn, bro. Why did you go do that interview with like them people? And that fucked up y'all. If you got a real case, you don't get on, start doing interviews and podcasts.
Yeah,
and let me tell my story.
Especially if there's a legal thing coming on.
Yeah,
most of the time you can't do that shit.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that don't even sound right. Like, bro, that's hella weird. And I'm just sitting back. So now, like I wasn't even in Kansas when the whole thing hit, and so like I was in Facebook jail, so I couldn't comment or say anything about it. And so I've like made some of the memes and shit that people were sharing and shit or whatever, because I'm a meme king.
It's just funny.
I'll be making.
I like the new shit y'all doing with putting the heads on all the videos.
Pinata farms.
Yeah, dude, that shit is hilarious.
But yeah, so like I was like, man, I really did make some of those memes and they went hella viral, and I was like, my ass is horrible, boy. I was like, I ain't even in town and I'm starting bullshit, man. I was like, oh,
well,
fuck.
He started it. Sounds like.
But I knew, like, but my buddy, like, who I, work with, Jiggy Jack, James Lowe, man, Jiggy called it to a T. Jiggy, like, I don't know, he's a wizard or just a shaman or a fortune teller, but he called it to a T.
What is that?
He's just like, look, bro, he was like, Cool Out came out with this story, and Cool Out even went on Jiggy's show. And I was just like, bro, what are you doing? A world tour of your
you fucking selling a book?
I was like, this is crazy. And so Jiggy was just like, hey, bro, look, they're going to take Hitman off of the air for a few weeks.
And investigate this.
They're going to, like, let it die down for a couple of weeks. There's going to be no charges pressed against him.
That happened.
Cool Out's going to be shunned. Yeah. And they're gonna bring the Hitman back to work
with Carla. Yeah.
Well, Carla's like Carla. I don't know what like Carla said.
I reached out to her to try to get her on our show.
What Carla said, Carla said when the time is right, she'll have something to say. But as far as I know, Carla's still in the Ozarks on vacation.
But doesn't she do? Is she still slated to do Did she do any morning shows without him?
I have no idea.
I don't know if she did.
I don't know because I don't listen to 93.
Me either. I listen to fucking podcasts and my own music.
I don't listen to 93.
I don't listen to any radio stations. I don't listen to any radio stations.
The only reason the only reason I did frequently listen to it was before Carla and shit or whatever, or homie Royce.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know, man. It's crazy, and like Jiggy said, because he's in the radio and everything. He's like, what'll happen? He's like, they'll let Hitman come back, which they did, and he's like, they'll get a new boss at Odyssey.
Yeah, because she quit
or
anyway.
Intercom,
yeah, or whatever they're called.
And then the new boss will come in, and then the Hitman will go away.
They'll fire him.
Probably.
They'll kind of let him retire. Kind of.
Well, yeah, it'll be like the Vince McMahon thing, like, hey, I'm gonna go, spend time with my family and my wife, and
graceful bow
it's been
they'll let you save face to the public.
Yeah, it'll be one of those kind of things, probably, most likely. So we'll see. But as far as like the whole town and like the whole memes and everything, like the shit, it was hilarious to me. Like, I mean, because this town, like when
I hate to humorize sexual abuse, but it was.
Yeah, I mean, the shit was funny. I mean, funny. You don't want to But it's like, man, when this town get a hold of something, like, they get a hold of that shit, and they will tear your ass a new one, boy.
Yeah.
And it'd be funny.
The public opinion is always fucking tough.
Yeah. But, I mean, it is what it is. Like, look, man.
And sometimes you get what you fucking deserve. I mean,
sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't know his life and all
Look,
that.
man, I hope the best for the cool out dude. I just wish he wouldn't have got on there and started doing the interviews and shit. And like for real, if you really do got a case, bro,
you can't say shit. I mean, your lawyer would advise you to not say
lawyer and shit. And then when he came out with the other statement and shit, and then like this is what made it sound like hella weird when he was like, "Oh, the state was refusing to press charge." The state. Like what, bro? Like if you go back and read his little statement, because he came out with a statement after Hitman went back to work.
He put out another like long.
And it was like
he described the whole fucking thing.
And he was like, the state refuses to press the state. I was like, bro, so that right there.
The lawyer he talked to had no fucking evidence.
That one got
whether it happened or not. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know what happened. I'm sure something may have happened, but it does seem weird that, and it maybe an incident happened. He was doing well at his job. And then all of a sudden, they fire him, and then the lady that fired him quits the next day. Yeah. I mean, it's a little fishy on both sides. Yeah, it's a little fishy on both sides.
It's different, bro. I don't know, man. Like, who knows?
Well, we can speculate wildly.
You can. The speculations and
that's more fun.
You can run wild and shit. So just let your imagination be free.
Well, if you guys know anything about it, fucking hit us up.
If you got any follow up,
but I don't want like calls from all people that's been abused by the hitman. I'm not.
We ain't turning this into a victim hotline and shit.
But where can we find anything, Big Will? Give a shout out all your stuff real quick. Anything you got to talk about? Anything you want to? Oh, and you got that cool business card thing, dude.
I was about to say.
Dude, he's got a business card that you can fucking like put all of your.
It's like a dot, but it's called a link card.
Oh, bet.
Yeah, dude, this shit is mean.
Yeah,
dude.
So I got a link. So if you want my info,
okay,
you got an iPhone?
No.
All right, just pull up. Let's see if we can.
iPhone.
You got NFC?
Something like that, maybe.
You gotta
turn on your NFC.
Well, you can do it on mine.
I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, you can do it on mine.
So, basically, if you got an iPhone, you just tap it.
But it goes to, see, and you can click it. You tap it on there, so it's kind of eliminating business cards. Like it would be awesome for a show because then you can like get so. As you guys can see this, you tap that card, and then I know you're not going to be able to exactly see, but you can see that you can access all of the platforms like Facebook and Cash App and TikTok and everything. Yeah. So you can here's all my shit. Like that's fucking sick. That's a fucking cool ass thing.
Yeah, if you just turn on your NFC on there, it's like the tap to pay shit. Yeah. Then that's how you do that.
I was about to say, how does your card that you have not work for the phones that you guys use?
Or you can just scan my code.
See that?
It's funny that you're like, I don't know shit about Apple, but anybody got an Apple phone?
Well, I've done it a couple times.
Boy, it works really simple on Apple.
I've done it a couple fucking times and learned and shit.
But isn't that cool as fuck?
But so now.
And it's a one-time fucking fee.
And now you can go to my Facebook, add me on Facebook, Snap.
You can
Twitter,
find our like when people say, "Hey, where's your Aaron and Austin show?" You can put the fucking Spotify link. Y'all
can put all your shit on
dude,
there,
how cool is that?
I just sent him my link.
Dude,
my info on it.
Yep, and that's how it works, bro. And then
that's awesome.
Isn't that really cool?
Now we're connected.
What's that thing called again?
It's called a link card.
Link card.
LINQ.
LINQ.
Yeah, man. So it's super dope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's way cool.
Yeah, it just literally sent me a
for all musicians, man.
Right
musicians and videographers and people that do shit that is fucking genius.
Absolutely, actually, anybody in the industry.
Yeah,
anybody where you have a business card or links to anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, and it's hella convenient, and that's really what it does. Is now it just eliminates you carrying business cards or
dude, I would spend a fortune on my pest control business.
People do you have a business card or do you got this?
They fucking just throw them away.
And now you don't gotta pull out your damn, here, and now you just hey, scan this, tap this, whoop de whoop. Now you got my information, and it's done.
Well, Big Will, thanks for doing this.
Already, man.
It's good to meet you.
We can talk for Big Will. I can talk to Big Will for hours.
Yeah, we'll have to come back.
You'll be back. Roll that footage. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on, man. Number 20.
Boom.
Number 20 called in yesterday. He was ready to play.
Is it a podcast? Is it a show?